When I got the call, they weren't even sure whether they were going to get us out right away, because at that point, all the airports into the New York, New Jersey area were shut down.
By Wednesday, we were waiting for 10,000 meals to be delivered from New York City. Wednesday night, the Baptist Kitchen wasn't even there. By Thursday morning, they were cooking food for 10,000 people, 10,000 meals.
Even though the storm had hit the coast, inland was affected power-wise. So there were no lights, no street lights, no traffic lights, wires down. So I even had a difficult time even getting to the headquarters and the hotel where we were going to start our operation.
When we drove in, it looked like a disaster. All of their possessions from their homes were sitting by the curb, waiting for the pickup.
In this kind of disaster, basic utilities were not always available wherever you went. You know, people don't realize that we're going into the same situation as the clients. You know, no water, sometimes no shelter, very, very cold weather conditions, rain. But the biggest struggle for me was emotionally meeting these people and just wanting to give everything to them, but at the same time, you have to be strong for them.
Part of the reason the clients were clients is because some of them did not know they were supposed to evacuate. They either didn't have their television on. She said, I didn't have my television on all weekend. By the time I saw it, all I had time to do was get my important papers and my credit cards and leave. Another lady named Allison told me she lived in a basement apartment. They had some kind of a robocall to tell people to evacuate. The other side of the street got it and she didn't. And she lost everything in her basement apartment.
But it was just complete devastation. I mean, when I was on Staten Island, we stayed on a military ship off the coast because there was nowhere we could stay on the island. It was so completely destroyed.
So this mom was now left with caring for a severely disabled son with cerebral palsy. And we wanted to make sure she was doing okay and coping with all that was involved with trying to recover from Sandy. We found the house, and the house wasn't really severely affected because it was up a little bit higher ground. And she shared with us that the night that Sandy had hit, she was kind of over the top because she knew that if the electricity went out, the electricity that kept all these life-saving devices would go out as well. When the electricity started coming back on, gas stations slowly came online, and there were sometimes mile-long lines for gasoline.
My story from Staten Island is a little different than Lynn's in that we were just briefly there serving meals to people who were in pretty bad shape. And it wasn't long after we were there that there was a knock on the door. And one of the residents came up and said, "Would you like some coffee?" And I was just amazed. I said, "Well, yeah." She said, "I'm sorry, it's going to be decaf and instant." And I said, "That is so wonderful." And she brought us some hot coffee. You know, in the midst of all this suffering, these women, this person was interested in making our being there a little more comfortable. And that was really great.
And I think it's little things like that sometimes that people need to hear about or just experience to give them a little bit of a way to say, yeah, I can get through this too. In the end of it, she was very excited. She gave me a big hug, and we wished each other the best.